So now the second day of the trip to the public shelter. It was raining quite a lot, but it stopped just a little bit after I arrived, so it wasn't too bad. So first thing first, checking on the doggies, taking some more videos, pictures, and what's important here is that you really need to take a closer look. You see a lot of dogs are still hiding in their sheds. Some are coming out because they're curious. This one here, for example, is limping. So that is something very important because we have over 800 dogs in this public shelter. And you don't always see each and every one of them because they're hiding, they're scared. So we try to check on all of them if they're okay because of them being so overcrowded. They get in fights with each other because they're quite cramped up in there. So we need to make sure they're not hurt. Everyone is eating properly because if they're really disliking one of the dogs in their cage, it could happen that it won't be able to reach the food anymore. Did you just see that little sausage that looks like a Dalmatian hybrid? It is so cute. It actually found a home already, so I'm very, very happy with that. A couple of dogs did. After we came home, we promoted them, so that was just great. That's like the biggest reward to take some of them out there. So that's really, really awesome. I'm super happy about that. Do you see how their tails are wagging? It's so adorable. You wish you could just play with all of them all day, or practice with them. Unfortunately, of course, it's not really possible. But you see how many are there and how many want attention. Some bark at you, like I told you in the first video. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's really quite interesting, especially telling you on what happened on my first day, because a lot happened. But throughout this journey, so many funny things happen, so many sad things happen. So I highly recommend watch the first video so you get the full picture of the trip. So you see some dogs are actually by themselves. It's unfortunately because they don't always like their little cage neighbors, so they have to be kept separately. And now look at those cute little fluffies. So while I was taking the pictures and taking videos of the dogs, I turned around and just by coincidence, I seen this little one here. And at first, I thought he just stuck his head out because sometimes they do that, which he did. But then his little neck fat wouldn't let him back into the cage. So, of course, I had to act fast because that could be an invitation for other dogs to attack him. And then this little cutie there on the side keeps jumping on me. And guess what? Of course, her paws were full with poo. So it was, yeah, not the nicest experience because I had it all over my neck. But I had to make sure this little one gets back out. And you can see I'm trying to. And this was really funny because he was so adorable and he didn't know what to do. But he had so much skin there and I was trying to carefully pull it through. You can see first his ear, then some of the skin and his little fat. So I'm trying to get him out without hurting him. And I think he was a little bit disturbed, but now he's happy. The other ones are happy. So now I have time to snuggle the poop paw little girl. Thanks for nothing because now I'm all over covered with little poo paws. But yeah, they're just adorable. Look at them. They're so cute. Yeah, but that actually happens quite a lot, unfortunately. And we would love to actually put additional fence in the front, a little bit tighter fence so that doesn't happen. But for that, for all these cages, you just need the funds to do it. And that will be thousands and thousands. So we're slowly getting there. We're doing what we can, but it's not there yet. But we're working on it. So after I brought him back into his cage, I continue going through the cages, trying to check on the doggy, see if I see anyone being hurt or not in a good condition, which is tough sometimes because you see they are not always coming out. So, and you don't want to scare them too much or get them riled up too much. So you need to do it really in a quite delicate way. And honestly speaking, I was wearing dark clothes, which was like the most stupidest idea I could have had, because that scared them, of course. I should have worn something brighter. But me thinking about all the poo and stuff you are going to have on your clothes, I thought darker clothes might be the best idea, but obviously not. So I learned from that. Next time I'll definitely pick better clothes, not to scare them too much. They will be scared, don't get me wrong, right? Because they're afraid of humans. Their experience with humans is not the best, but you can at least make it a bit easier. So if you ever go to a shelter like that, don't just wear all black. Yeah, you can see, and there's so many adorable ones, and that's the story. What I'm trying to bring across here, you see so many different kinds of dogs. You see very young ones, you have puppies there, you see older ones, fluffy ones, small ones, big ones, all kinds, whatever you could imagine. And since they're mixed breeds, they're usually quite healthy. And that's also my experience with my dogs. They're quite healthy because they're so mixed. The purebreds from breeders, yeah, sometimes have certain type of diseases that are typical for that breed, right? You don't really see that too often with those mixed breeds. And that's why I'm saying look at your local shelter. There's so many adorable, perfectly healthy and cute dogs that are looking for a home. And now look at this little mama. She was so super friendly. Look at her cute little face. She just had also her puppies in the shelter, which is really such a shame because you can see they're just little sheds. There's no bedding in there, nothing. We're not allowed to put anything in there. And that's where those little babies live. That's something that makes me quite sad. But we'll try to find them homes as well. So she's being taken care of by the vet. That's good. And then, of course, as I told you in the first video, you might have seen it. If not, watch it because that's the mama from the first video that had the babies. She was pregnant when she came in, and she had the babies right in the shelter during the night. And she's taken such good care of them. They're so adorable. Their eyes are still closed. It's just so cute to watch. And to be honest, that was my first experience with puppies. I've never held a puppy, I've never touched a puppy because I usually go for the senior dogs. So that was just something else. It was so cute. And then seeing the mommy taking such good care of them and not even having much herself. I mean, she has water and food, but that's it. And she was in the first video actually trying to build a little nest out of that wooden shed, which was really heartbreaking. And now look at those two. Oh, I fell in love right away when I see them. I mean, look at them. So I called them Tiny and Tim because look, they're really super, super tiny. The dog catchers brought them in. I'm not sure if they have had a home. Could be, maybe not, but I think so because they were actually quite well behaved and honestly not as wild, if you want to call it that, for lack of a better word, like the typical dogs that have been growing up in the streets. So, and you see how, look how pretty. I mean, honestly, such pretty dogs in the shelter. It's really a shame. So, I can only repeat myself go to your local shelter and just take one home if you have the possibility, if you have the time. Now look at I called her Flappy because her ears are flapping in the wind. She is just so adorable. She is the cutest ever. And I stopped here because I was afraid she's gonna get stuck, but she didn't have such neck fat, so she didn't. So after taking a couple of videos, we headed back out. We were called, and apologies for that video. we were called to an industrial area where a local person informed us that the mommy kept having puppies, and we're supposed to take her to the vet to get castrated. So it was a difficult task because she doesn't really have human contact except for someone throwing food in there. And that was quite dangerous, to be honest, because she actually jumps up and she'll bite you. I mean, and I don't blame her. And after we caught her from her cage, we put her in a transport cage, and that's why this video will end right here, because I got severely bitten, of course. So it was bleeding, it was hurting like crazy. Well, I had to go, since we had to bring her to the vet anyway. The vet took care of my bite, so that was good. What you can see here, we are at a private property trying to help the owner out with her dogs. She keeps them chained so they don't run off. Not all of them, just some. So the dog catchers won't get them and bring them to a kill shelter. But she also has other animals. And look at this. And I needed to point that out because that scared me really like crazy. And if you look at that closer, it's a goat in the window. I called it Black Phillip. Scary. And then back at the shelter, I need to tell you a little bit about my personal love story. So, this little guy is called Gremlin. Gremlin is called Gremlin because he was not the nicest to the last person visiting him. So, everybody thought he was aggressive. He was not the nicest dog. And honestly, he is the cutest dog ever. He is really so adorable. And I fell in love. I just need to find him a home. So, anyway, I have a couple of more interesting and funny stories. So, make sure you subscribe to see the rest of my time in the public shelter.